Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well. I sort of forget that it's midday, so it's afternoon. So we are going to now go live with a property sourcer, investor, by the name of Ben Garbett, who has just joined me right now, and send him an invite.
How's it going, man?
Ben,
You okay?
good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I'm really good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
No, pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on here. It's all about sharing the knowledge that you've gained over the years in what you do. Also, spreading positive energy because of the time that we are in right now. There's a lot of negativity around us. So thank you so much for coming on,
No
and it's a
worries.
pleasure to have you.
Yeah, no problem. That's great. Yeah, fantastic. I think it's really great what you're doing with these Instagram lives every day and getting new people on and getting everyone to kind of share their experience and what they've learned so far and where they are in kind of the journey too. So it's great.
Absolutely. So, Ben, before we start off, if you can introduce yourself as to who you are and what you do, and then we can get the conversation going.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm obviously Ben, as you introduced me a second ago, and I've been doing do property sourcing and property investing. So that's my long-term goals and something I'm doing at the minute. And I'm still very early into my property journey. We started last year on the actual property journey. And a
Okay.
bit of background on myself, I used to be in the trade. So I was in the trade for about 3 years, started off as a bench joiner, then I went to plastering and then like slash rendering, and then ended up falling out of love with plastering because of certain different circumstances back then, and then went on a different journey. Found like I was basically just wanting to do something that made money online at first. So I was like looking at all the different streams of income. So I left my job, went to work at Carphone Warehouse, where I'm currently at now. So I'm still there whilst I'm plotting my future basically. And then I was like looking at everything online, like forex trading, drop shipping, Amazon, started selling perfumes, like doing network marketing and all that stuff. So yeah, I've got a bit of like varied background of what I've been trying to do, what I've
So
tried to.
you're a true definition of a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think I definitely had the shiny penny syndrome at first, 100%. And then I think because my best mate and business partner now, who kind of got me onto this path of kind of saying, look, we can go down and create a property business. There's more than one way into property without, like, I just thought property, you bought a house and then, you
You
either
do it
lived in
up
it or
and
you
you
rent
sell
it.
it.
You
Exactly.
literally lived in it or rented it out. So I didn't really have that term knowledge of, I worked in the trade and that's what I kind of knew. But I never knew there was so many different ways of getting into property and having like a business in that sense. So that was a whole new thing. And then it's super like sparked interest straight away. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah. My mate
Of
wants
course.
to go into business with me and do something together, who I spend like literally every day with, which is good. Obviously, we know about like the disadvantage and the advantage of being in a partnership, but we know how we can make it work, and we've really sat down and figured it out, and we really know how each other work and what our thoughts and how we work as individuals and how we work as well as a team. So yeah, that's been good. It's
Of
been
course.
a bit of a crazy journey. It's been a
Ben,
bit of a
before we move on into what you're
yeah.
doing currently, just to take you a bit back, I mean, did you always think that you wanted to? You mentioned that you want to become a multi-platform entrepreneur doing different things. But did you always have that from the start when you were a young boy? I mean, normally when you grow up, you have aspirations of becoming a lawyer, a doctor, an architect or an engineer. Did you have that sort of aspiration, or did you just, nope, this is what it is. I want to get into doing business and this is what I'm going to do?
You know what? Growing up, no, I had no idea what I ever wanted to do. I was always that kid, and I've structured myself now, which I've got better at, of like trying to do something different every different week. So one week as a kid, I'll be learning magic, then I'll be doing like fencing, then I'll be playing football, then I'll be playing rugby, then I'll be playing hockey, then I'll be playing one video game on a different video platform. I think I moved around a lot as a child, so we moved like Manchester when I was about 6, and then we moved in different places. So I was always moving around. So I don't know if that kind of went the trait of moving on to different things all the time. But no, I never knew what I wanted to be. When I was younger, my dad was like a joiner. I never wanted to
Okay.
be a joiner. because my
Okay.
dad was doing it.
Okay.
So I thought it was weird. So yeah, growing up, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. It's like going through school, all I wanted to do was sport. I loved it. Got to
And
year 11.
you didn't like to study in the classroom.
Yeah, that is exactly who I was. So I loved going to school. Don't get me wrong, loved going to school, loved seeing my mates. I used to mess around a bit. I used to have a bit of fun, but I never was like naughty or anything. But I just couldn't concentrate. I was too easily distracted. Every parent's evening, Ben's a lovely lad, but he's too easily distracted. That's exactly the whole thing every time. But the subjects I enjoyed, I excelled in. But the subjects I didn't, I just couldn't concentrate and just took no interest. So it was just kind of, yeah, sport. Year 11, decided, right, I don't really know where I can go with sport. So then I chose to do media in college. And then it got to the end of media, loved it, dead hands-on, just doing filming, production, things that really kind of was good for myself, which was great. Got to the end of that, decided, okay, uni's not the path that I want to go down. And I got stuck again. So I ended up going into work, into a factory, working with like loads of different people, loads of different backgrounds.
What were you doing in that factory?
Right, so how would I describe it? It's like the security things on, like your bank card, you have those shimmering like things, around cigarette packets.
Yep.
We were making like rolls of them, and they were put onto a
Ah.
machine, and then those machines would then print them onto like a big, like long, like I don't know how I can't even describe how long the meterage of the rolls were, and then these would be shipped to then companies, and then that.
So you went from job to job, and which you're currently also doing at Carphone Warehouse as well. When did you realize that job is not just the way forward? You need that passive income coming in, like where times like this where people have lost their jobs, businesses have gone bust because of the reason that they don't have another stream of income coming in. When did you think that, yes, I need to get onto another stream of income and start producing that income so that when times get hard, it's not only the job I rely on, but I have that passive income coming in? When did you think about it?
So that was right at the end of like my plastering kind of moment. So when I was hating it, when I was like a bit down, didn't really know what to do, loads of different situations going on with that. I actually got given the book The Secret. I don't know if you've heard of that book. But yeah, that basically changed my life and my views and the outlooks on everything.
Yeah.
And then I found like a Forex trading at the start. That was like kind of my boost to find out. And them two kind of things gave me that realization that you don't have to work for someone for the rest of your life. And there's more out there to be achieved than I already knew. So there's more to life than just working, if you know what I mean. There's more to be achieved. And then that's where I started looking down at different streams and realizing that, okay, there's different ways to make different incomes and having passive incomes, and then creating more I read, because that was the first book I've ever read in my life, The Secret. So after 18 years, unless it's like Biff, Chip and Kipper, I don't even know if you know that, back in school, in like primary school.
But I didn't go to school in the UK. I went to school in Pakistan. So it was a totally different outcome. I mean, just to give you a bit of a difference how we have it, like in Pakistan, the schools are so full on. You have I remember when I was holding my backpack, and it used to be like as if I was carrying stones, right?
Wow.
It was that heavy.
Wow.
When my kids started going to school, and they just took a small little bag with them, one book, and I was like, is this what you guys study out there? But I can truly understand the level of schooling and the level of education that is in the UK, and UK is one of the pioneers of education. A lot of people around the world, kids, students, some of them even start their schooling here because their parents don't want them to start schooling possibly in Pakistan and India and China, and they send their kids here to boarding school, and throughout their life they've just been here, and that is why I think the education level and the way the schools bring up a child in the UK is totally different to how they bring it up in Pakistan. The exposure, the level of thinking, the vocabulary. I mean, sometimes when I'm talking to my own children, I'm like, how do you guys know these words? At this age. So I can understand that how it must have been for you as well in terms of learning and producing what you had to do. Now,
Yeah.
coming back to when you sort of realized that you wanted to become an entrepreneur, you mentioned that you wanted to get into forex trading and other like you went into Amazon, drop shipping, and all that kind of stuff. Um, did you take any courses? Did you learn it somewhere, or you just got onto the computer, put on forex trading, and that was it?
Yeah, so at the start, it was more actually on Instagram. So I just came across a page. It was actually like a sponsored advertisement, I think, at the time, or like someone else promoting it for someone else. And I just kind of followed it and then kind of realized, obviously, at first, you see all like the Lamborghinis and obviously the Rolex watches, you see all that kind of, and there's a lot of bad stuff that comes in Forex, but there's so many good things. So I kind of thought, right, I'll have a look into it. And I kind of realized, okay, this could be a path that I might want to go down. So I never really took any courses at first. With the drop shipping one, I jumped into, obviously the shiny penny, that another thing popped up on a sponsored ad on YouTube and I was watching something, then I clicked on it and next minute I was in a webinar and next minute I was buying someone's course. Best thing plastering. Oh, you're back, yeah?
Yeah.
Happy days. And yeah, so I literally just used a bit of money, but luckily the course that I went on, I could get my money back if I didn't like it after 30 days. So instantly I thought, right, okay, after about, when I realized, okay, I don't actually have that any money left.
Yeah.
I need to kind of live that. All right, okay, I luckily got me, so it was a bit of luck. I got my money back on that one. So yeah, I took a course, jumped straight back out of it. I don't think because I didn't take any courses in anything that I did at the time when I was researching anything, I think that's why I was so, I lost track on different kind of things because I weren't set in doing something. I hadn't put any money into anything. It was kind of just kind of getting an insight of every little bit and they're all just kind of falling off.
So you were basically going in there, getting the research work done, and then dropping out of it.
But that basically, and then going on to the next thing that could make money online.
Okay.
Also, I think the mistake I made, even though I didn't want to be associated with plastering at all when I finished it, I didn't want to do anything towards. I didn't want to see another trial. I didn't want to see another bit of plaster in my life. I moved to Cardiff and Wales, and obviously that was learning another kind of job and another skill, what took up a lot of time as well. So that was another distraction on what I was doing as well, trying to build up my knowledge in sell, like learning how to sell again, which has another been a great learning thing for me about selling.
Yep.
Again, I would never go into retail again in my life. Once I'm out of it, I'll never go back to retail. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, so I think there was a lot of, again, when I said before about Ben's a good lad, but he's easily distracted. Over the past year, I was easily distracted.
And it sort of carried on with you that, it sort of distracts you in different ways.
Yeah, definitely controlled it now though.
How did you find the concentration to get on with what you learned and move on with that?
Yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of think when Steve, who's actually just in the chat as we speak, he kind of came to me about going into property, and I think because it sparked such good interest and realization about, oh wow, this doing something I'm actually kind of passionate about anyway, and I like, and now I'm doing it with one of my best mates as well as business partners.
And obviously you had that experience in terms of refurbishing. You were into plastering and all that kind of stuff. Your father was a joiner, so you had that knowledge on how a property can be turned around and fixed and all that kind of stuff. So that was the reason that sort of, okay, you had your friend as well and you had that experience as well, and you thought maybe this could be the thing that I want to get into.
Yeah, 100%. It just kind of made sense. I think I had the knowledge without knowing I had the knowledge kind of thing about going down this, and that kind of sparked like, okay, look, yeah, I've been in this industry in the past. I've got family and people around who do it, so I have the contacts already. When we started realizing, the more we spoke to people, the more we realized about how many people we knew were kind of doing the kind of not the same as what we're kind of doing, but similar or had experience in like the property kind of world and stuff like that. So it kind of made us realize, look, we've got loads of contact. We can get loads of support if needed to, and it's something that we both really like.
And did you go for a property training course?
Yeah. Steele probably laughing at this right now as we speak. So we went to again, got excited. We booked onto a few seminars. So, went to like the little courses and, the days out, it was great. Met loads of good people. And then obviously what we didn't realize before going to these about what they do at these kind of events, and didn't really do our due diligence of what actually goes on. We were just excited, two young lads ready to go into like take on the property world, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So then we got into actually like, oh yeah, if you want to make money, put your hands up, sit down, stand up, cheer, all this.
I sort of have an idea where you went.
Yeah, no, we didn't actually go to that one. No, we didn't go to. I think I know the person who you're speaking about, but yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't go to that one. We were actually more based on. We knew that we wanted to go down. Again, there's so many different aspects and different kind of areas that you can go down in your property kind of journey. Like there's so many different areas, and we kind of knew about like your standard buy to let and your flipping houses. So that was like our main kind of focus, and the people mindset, what we knew was kind of already happening in that world. Obviously, we heard about like service accommodations. We kind of met someone who was doing that very early on, so we had an idea. But the first seminar we went to was mainly he told us about, he like gave an overview of all of them, but his main strategy and his main kind of path to making him successful within property was down like building a buy-to-let portfolio just with JVing with people. And yeah, it just kind of
can you take that person's name whose course you went to?
Yeah, so it's Aaron Curry.
Okay.
Aaron Curry, that's Aaron Curry's mentorship. That's what we went down. Again,
okay. How was the experience at the course? I mean, were there a lot of people there that you could sort of resemble to in terms of they were also starting their property journey, or the people in there that had already started their property journey, but just to have a bit more knowledge and an idea of how to move into different markets? Were you the only beginners out there?
I think it was a little bit of a mixture. I think because it was hard to tell. We didn't really talk. We talked to a few. If I can remember, this is going back to last July. I think last July or August. But yeah, I think from what I remember, that we were definitely one of the youngest in there. That was for sure, and that kind of sparked interest with other people, especially when we went back on the course. We went to like a 3-day mentorship, like a 3-day event kind of thing in the mentorship. We started to talk to a lot of people, and it sparked interest and conversation with our age, which was quite cool. But going back to the actual first day, I think the majority of people were I think they were newish. Maybe people had an idea. A lot of an older generation, so either people that had started in there but kind of wanted more track of where to go or information, sign up to these 3-day events, at least like free and don't charge. Events that have I presume gain more knowledge or who have already had like maybe 5 properties, but they're wanting to advance in there. So I think it was a mix, but we were definitely one of the younger.
And when you finished your 3-day course that you went to, did you walked out of that room, did you think that I've gained enough and now is the time to start? Is that the thought you had, or no, you wanted to go to another course as well, find out about another market within the property industry, or no, you just said, okay, let's go for the buy-to-let portfolio management?
Yeah, we were definitely coming out of it, definitely excited. Definitely, it was exhausting as well. We had 3 intense days, 3 long days of just learning, being at an event and speaking and getting up early and then doing bits after it. So definitely exhausting, but really good. We felt like we had a lot of information that we could go away and start what we were doing. Around the time, so this is about, I think. Do you think
these crash courses, because they're so intense over 3 days, can your mind absorb that sort of information? I mean, is it not hard to take so much in? I mean, it's so packed with people. You're talking to them, you're networking with them. Then the person who is running the course, he's talking about his experience. I mean, so much knowledge and information crammed into 3 days. Don't you think your mind was going all over the place?
I think that's why we probably came out, realized that's why we were exhausted for one. I think as well, the good thing about it as well is what we got out of it and what we didn't get out of it. They had like a year. It's like a year mentorship with. It's not personal really, but it has like it has like what do you call it, videos to follow, and then we actually got given, I don't know where it is, but we got like on the day of the 3-day event that we went back to, it was like a folder full of like all the information that he's kind of got together. So it was kind of structured, but yeah, I think there was a lot to take in. And as I was explaining just before about what I was like in school, about I'm not the best academically, and not maybe obviously because I'm interested in it. I think that's helps because I can actually take more notice in what I'm doing.
Yep.
But when there's so much information it's trying to register in my brain at the time, in my head, it was a lot. It did feel like and we networked with a few people, but at the time of when we went on that was around October time, or around then anyway. Both of us working in retail. The time and the pressure of that going around us, there was a lot going on. It was getting very busy. I think leading up to it, we hadn't got as much done as we had wanted to, in the sense of like learning and leading up to it, because work had basically took over. Because the mindset of now we can realize how to manage our time with everything going on, because obviously it was so fresh. Starting a business, I'd never even done anything to do with like business in my life before, like thinking about starting up a business.
Of course.
So yeah, there's a lot going on at first. So I think then after it, and then I got distracted. Then after that, I got distracted again with another kind of shiny penny with social media market, selling perfumes and aftershaves, which was a bit mad. And yeah, I learned a lot from that, and definitely stepped out of my comfort zone for one. And then after January, it kind of picked up again. We kind of took all our learning and started fixating in what we were doing, putting it all together. So it was kind of it weren't just, we found property and then it was all just dead straightforward.
Smooth sailing. Yep.
It was
when did you go out and source your first property?
So we haven't sourced our first property yet. So like I said before, we're still very early into our property investing and sourcing business. The sourcing more picked up actually. We talked about it because we got taught, and the focus about what he did on his mentorship. Obviously, when you're on a mentorship, you kind of fixate into what they're doing and you're following what they're about. And we didn't really kind of look elsewhere or listen to many podcasts. We listened to TED Talks and stuff like that, which is an amazing podcast everyone should check out if you're starting in property. But yeah, it was kind of fixated on just going down a buy-to-let route, and you joint venture with someone else, and basically that was it. There was no other things about like the BRRR strategy, like buy, refurbish, refinance. You literally you bought a property, you raised the funds from somewhere, and you worked with them it was very overview about what we could do, and we thought, okay, we had to just find a joint venture partner as an investor.
And are you applying that course to your property investment side? Where have you found a joint venture partner yet? I mean, has someone come up to you and said, okay, yep, we'll go ahead and fund this project of yours for whatever return? Has it been easy doing that, or it's pretty hard?
So with the joint venture, so as we got into lockdown, we started learning about other ways and started obviously networking with a lot more people and kind of realizing what would be the best for our business and how we could set up as a partnership and working with those people. And they realized that joint venturing wasn't the best. But just before lockdown, we actually nearly had a deal going through, which kind of, when we heard about like deals are everywhere and like people do have money to invest, and we were like, that's mad. No, how do you find these people? And next minute, someone at my work that had a property that mum was moving out of was looking to sell it. So we kind of stepped in and helped them out up to a certain point, up until COVID hit, and then kind of broke down. And then on Steve's side, someone from work as a potential JV/investor to be able to put the funds in. But then lockdown came up, we had to borrow some money out. So we've already been through the process of actually we kind of realised there are deals out there and they could be anywhere. Like there was literally one in my work, which I never thought that would be the case. And that we've found like a potential investor, and then that's broke down straight away. So we've realised about all the things that can happen and can kind of break down. And obviously COVID and this time has been, I would say for me personally, it's been a blessing.
Yep. Because
it's been able to, I'll be able to sit back. We've changed the business plan a couple of times, and then going back onto like your original question of the sourcing, that's where we kind of realised, and just a little bit before that, we need to kind of focus on that as well as the investing route, because we're basically going out sourcing properties for ourselves and what we wanted to do anyway with JV partners or potential investors. So then we have to realize, okay, there's ways of now being able to source those properties and get them and then work with a different type of investor, build up relationships through that way, learn more about the property industry and everything that goes into investing in a property and everything around it, and building up our cash pot to then hopefully be able to even put back into our own properties, into our own portfolios, into our business. And then we, like, after speaking to quite a few people, we went down the line instead of JVs, working with investors on like a fixed return rate. But that's that is still in the pipeline, but more of a longer term. As we can see, the sourcing is a bit more shorter, but we're working with them coinciding together, if you know what I mean.
And do you think that now is the right time to go out and start your practical journey? I know you've done a lot of theory, you've done the courses, you've done your business plan, you've sat and worked it out and everything. But when is the actual right time for you to go out and, yep, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy this property, do it up, sell it on. When is the right time for you?
I think there's right time for us. So obviously we wanted to make sure that we knew everything we were talking about. So obviously when you're setting up like the business, we wanted to make, when we went back, like we started at the start of the COVID, it started like lockdown, we started thinking, all right, we need to take investor packs, we need to make a website, we need to make this, make that. And as the business plan started changing and we were typing things about what we were doing onto the page, we were like, oh wait, we don't actually fully know what we wanted, like what we're talking about in a sense, because we wanted to make sure that if we're putting something on paper, we want to make sure we're able to say what we're doing.
Yep.
To say like to yourself, if you know what I mean.
Of course.
So yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we knew like more or less everything that we were talking about, that we had all the systems in place, that we were analysing deals and we knew what we were kind of looking for in a deal, what suited our needs and our strategy and what we wanted to do. And then gaining more knowledge on our investment area. So obviously lockdown's been a perfect time to do that because you couldn't even go out and then look for properties anyway.
Of course. But now you can.
Now you can, yes. So we'll be looking very shortly to start going out. We're looking at deals. We'll be looking very shortly to start building up those agent relationships by going on viewings and getting out there. Because I think what you've got to realise with the property sourcing kind of aspect is that you're not going to go to view one property, put one offer in and get that one accepted. It's, again, what we've learned, it's going to be a numbers game. You've got to go out and view. So just view and view and view, and obviously if it's right for you and right for the investor you're working with, if it's going to fit, then you'll put the offer in to what you think, well, obviously what you need to get out of it.
Of course.
And then,
would you be, when you do that, would you be bringing along the teachings that you learned from the course into doing that deal? Or is that now out of the window? Aspects
of it, definitely. Like it definitely kind of, I think with what that mentorship did for us, it kind of gave us, like an idea of like what, like a vision kind of thing about it. Kind of gave us that vision of like, okay, what we want, what we can do. Gave us a really good overview. But then now we've been learning, it just didn't give us a nitty gritty. Obviously, we knew how to. I learned about building relationships with agents and different ways of doing it, how to market yourself,
of course,
how to find off-market properties, but there was not really anything after finding them or doing that. There wasn't really anything past it. So obviously that, I know that goes down to yourself, and not all mentorships have that. And it's all about, okay, you build the relationship. It's how you come across as a person, the things you say and how you present yourself. And again, it's all about building the relationship. So yeah, we'll take,
absolutely.
With that one, we'll definitely take aspects, but obviously this time has given us me a chance to listen to podcasts, listen to Instagram lives, listen to other people talk about a journey, join Zoom calls. We're on 3 different networking events, and then plus all the other ones that go, like I'm on them 3 like consecutively, and then other ones throughout the weeks which have been up and running as well. So the information out there throughout lockdown. Obviously, like I would say, courses are good for it. It can focus your learning on that particular area.
Yeah.
But it's been so much good information over time that I probably
to get other people's experiences and how they have gone out and done it. It's been good. Before we wrap up, Ben, this question I put to every guest that comes on here. You know, you're only a young person out here, but I want you to give out a positive advice to all the people out there. You know, there's a lot of negative sentiment that we are in right now: COVID, lockdown, social distancing, people losing their jobs, like I mentioned before, businesses going bankrupt. What sort of positive advice would you like to give them in terms of them to carry on with their life moving forward?
I think it's just, obviously, again, there's been so much going on. There's been so much trauma and so much. Everyone's in so many different situations. Like I've come lucky from it, but so many people have been put in like awful positions that people don't even dream of. So I think with anything you're doing, and with most people, what you've got is just be grateful for everything you have and everything that you
Absolutely.
do in life. I think gratitude is so important, and understanding that there's a lot more things that are going on in life that are a lot worse than situations that you potentially could be in.
Absolutely.
And I think
Absolutely.
moving forward is just always trying to remain positive and not let the kind of disruptions get in your path, and always try and build up and be the strongest and best person you can be, and look at every situation that is put in front of you from afar and see how you can deal with it, and never be afraid to reach out for someone. Don't ever bottle everything up to yourself.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're going through, mental health, job issues, anything in life, don't just do it by yourself. Speak to someone who's close to you, speak to a friend, speak to a family member, or just reach out. People like on Instagram, that's why I'm here and why I do my podcast as well, because I want to be someone people can reach out to. Someone needs to talk about something. Staying positive. Happiness is the main thing, and be grateful. I don't know if that's something that I kind of live by.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. But thank you so much for coming on, Ben, and sharing your knowledge and your journey of how you're going into the property industry. And I wish you all the very best in getting your first deal through, sourcing out your property, and flipping that on. So wish you all the best. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you massively. I appreciate the opportunity for coming on doing this. Yeah, it's great. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem.
Have a great day. All the best,
you
my
too.
friend. Bye-bye. Cheers.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
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 So that was Ben, a very young lad all the way up north who is just starting on his property journey. And it was great insight to know about how he's gone from different things in life to decide that, yes, property is the way forward to earn that passive income. And I'm sure all the viewers that came on here, thank you to you guys. I'm sure you must have learned a lot out here from what he spoke about. Thank you to Ben for joining me. Friday's here. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing. Take care. And I will see you at 6 o'clock where I have my next live session. So take care. Bye-bye.